With that, let's welcome in our economic panel. Anthony Esposito joins us, CEO and founder of Escalon 6 Capital. Paul Mueller is here, Senior Research Fellow at the American Institute for Economic Research. Gentlemen, welcome, and thanks for coming on. Okay, so Anthony, my takeaway, no country is safe from paying tariffs when it comes to these goods. It doesn't matter what the population size is, what the geographic size is for the country. The president's got his eyes on some of these countries.
Yeah, I think every penny counts, right? We're the largest consumer in the world, the largest economy in the world, and President Trump is going to continue to negotiate these deals top down. Largest economies, largest partners, down to the smallest. The Indonesia deal is a great example. We have another surplus nation in Indonesia. He cuts a deal. We're currently exporting about $10 billion in goods to Indonesia. He cuts a deal where now they're going to pay a 19% tariff. We're going to pay nothing, and we're guaranteed to sell $15 billion in energy. We have 50 Boeing jets being ordered. We have our agriculture market now being opened up. We have $5 billion in ag products being sold to Indonesia through this deal. He is negotiating down the pipeline, and he's doing a great job of it.
You know, President Trump also announcing a trade deal, this with Indonesia. This is right after that tariff letter was sent out. Watch this.
We have full access to Indonesia, everything. As you know, Indonesia is very strong on copper, but we have full access to everything. We will pay no tariffs. So they are giving us access into Indonesia, which we never had. That's probably the biggest part of the deal. And the other part is they are going to pay 19%, and we are going to pay nothing.
19%, we are going to pay nothing. Paul, talk to us about this and the deals that could potentially be secured even after this deal is done here with Indonesia.
Well, with so much of what the Trump administration is doing, things are kind of mixed. So on the one hand, opening up U.S. exports is a great thing. If you go back and look at the U.K. deal, that was part of the U.K. deal as well, lowering the tariffs on U.S. goods going into the U.K. It sounds like with Indonesia that this is a great move in terms of opening up the market for U.S. exports. But I'm still a little bit confused on the tariff side. I understand the Trump administration wants to raise more revenue, and they're trying to offset some of the tax cuts they made permanent recently. Tariffs are a tax that raise revenue. I think it's a little bit incorrect to say that 19% is just paid by people from Indonesia, because the way taxes work is they create a wedge. What happens is consumers pay more and producers receive less, and the government gets the difference. And so it depends a lot on the good and the market in terms of how that burden is shared. But to say that the burden is only borne by foreign exporters or foreign companies is simply incorrect. It's almost never the case. And so it's going to be some amount of sharing in terms of the costs of the tariff. But on the other hand, the exports are definitely positive to be able to get into this market without having to pay tariffs on U.S. goods.
Sure. Yeah. Looking for fairness, I think overall was definitely an initial objective by the Trump administration when it came to Liberation Day. I think we can all flash back to April when you saw that big announcement. It's a lot of numbers to comb through. We're waiting to see if more trade deals do emerge. But the president has his eyes focused on investments also in the states. We saw it yesterday where he and other leaders of the country announced large technology and energy companies, a $90 billion investment in new AI and energy investments. Watch this.
To announce the largest package of investments in the history of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, and it's not even close. I don't imagine it's too close. I don't think second is too close. That's a big statement. This afternoon, 20 leading technology and energy companies are announcing more than $92 billion of investments in Pennsylvania. And if you want, we could probably get them up. Remaining the world's leader in AI will require an enormous increase in the energy production, and that's taking place, and you're doing it yourself, and a massive build-out of physical infrastructure and the tremendous technology skill that Pennsylvania has.
So, Anthony, what kind of real-world implication will this investment have on Americans living in Pennsylvania?
I think the real-world implications are job creation and growth within the state. And then you have the flip side, which is public policy and private innovation kind of converging in a sector like AI. I think it's exactly what we need, and it's a great example of President Trump and the administration leading from the front. So remove regulations, incentives to grow, unleash energy, be in the forefront of the technology, and the growth will come. I think that's exactly what we're seeing.
Yeah, you're also seeing opening bell and Don Jr. there at the New York Stock Exchange on the podium there, chanting, I believe, USA. This company Grab a Gun going public. Interesting again to watch this moment here. You're seeing the Trumps just about everywhere you turn right now. He made a little bit of an announcement earlier this morning about being at the New York Stock Exchange, and there's opening bell there. Not more information to tell you about that, but again, seeing Don Jr. there, the president's son, ringing the opening bell here as we watch along. Just final thoughts there, Paul. You can respond to that if you'd like, but also the inflation data that we've received recently, lower than expected. A little uptick in consumer pricing, but lower than expected. Wholesale prices unchanged, though, as we take a look at some of the inflation data, and that's what I mean. From May to June, there's a little bit of an uptick there, but economists expected even higher, and it wasn't. That's some good news to pick out of there, Paul.
Absolutely. I think the story with inflation is a very positive one. I think inflation has been trending down for a while and will likely continue to trend down, if not stay flat. So that's good. I think the worry about tariffs increasing inflation are overblown. That's not really how tariffs and taxes work. And final thoughts here. The Trump administration is very sort of pro-business, and they are promoting energy, they're promoting deregulation, they're touting investment. It's a very different environment than a year ago, for sure. And the markets are reacting to that. That's why they're, at or near all-time highs. I think people are very optimistic about AI, about greater energy development, about some of these projects. And so I would just say, things are trending positively. There's a lot of good stuff happening. I'm still a little bit confused about what the end game is with the tariffs and why we're maintaining high barriers on goods coming into the country. But otherwise, most of what Trump is doing seems to be driving the economy forward. And I think there's a lot of optimism and a lot of reason to expect things to continue on an upward trajectory, at least for the foreseeable future.
Yeah, right now. I mean, the number's moving, but Dow up about 100 points to start the day. We'll see where it goes. Anthony Esposito, Paul Mueller, thanks so much for coming on this morning.
Thank you.
Thank you.